Dear ladies and gentlemen, welcome again to the analysis of YOLENO TV. I'd like to start this session by appreciating you so much for always supporting our channel. If you wish to support us, please hit the subscribe button and then you can hit the like button. Now, it is evident that Ruto has probably four options. Instead of positive talks, the government has been hell-bent in making sure that the opposition's plan is scattered. I started off by saying that Ruto faces four options, to my understanding, in how he might want to deal with the Raila Odinga, because Raila Odinga will not relent. That's the one thing I can tell you, and you can take to the bank. He will not relent. There are fears that Raila's anti-government protests could dent president's global brand and also trigger an economic crisis if he resorts to street protests. Now, that's a reality, because should Raila Odinga revert to the mass protests, a thing that is now inevitable, and any time from now it will happen. This move will force William Samoei Ruto to attempt to manage this, to manage the pressure that Raila Odinga is trying to impose on him. And in a move, he might have to use the force to quell, or the force to disperse these protests, and the protests might not end sooner, because they will spill over to other counties. And that was always been the plan of Raila Odinga, that the protests to spill over to other counties, because it is a common goal being fought here. One, election were rigged. Two, the high cost of living. So William Ruto is currently under pressure from a combined force from Raila Odinga and the immediate former president Uhuru Kenyatta. So the administration of William Ruto is facing tough options, and it's going to face tough options in the coming months, because earlier on Tuesday there was that allegation of emissaries sent to Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta to probably try to talk to Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta about this pressure that is looming, so that probably Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta can weigh in on this issue and force Raila Odinga to chill. But that did not work. And instead, what we saw was that Malala tried to peddle propagandas which were not making sense, when he said that Raila Odinga stole 15 billion and bought maize and stored them somewhere in the other silos. So these allegations were purely propagandas, but we know Malala very much to be talking about propagandas. He doesn't talk about anything that is sensible. Even though Ruto keeps insisting that he cannot be threatened by mass action and might want to allow Raila Odinga to proceed with the plans, that option can be a very risky option, because a mass action could degenerate into street protests that could lead to destruction of property and grounding of the economy. And that is one of the agendas of any mass action. The mass action is always to force the government to talk. If the government refuses to talk, and if the government has captured parliament, captured the Senate like the government of the day, then the only way out for the common man to speak his mind out is always through the street protests and the like. So this plan by Raila Odinga is going to work perfectly well. And by the way, a political analyst, Alexander Nyamboga, said that president may not have the luxury of time and advantage of power when things go south, but he can ignore Raila. I think what the political analyst is basically trying to say is that he can choose to ignore Raila, because if he tries to confront him, then this will degenerate into other chaos, which will spill over to other places. And this is why he's saying that the only way out is Ruto to, probably just allow Raila Odinga to perform as a constitutional mandate as an opposition leader. Because, of course, you know that Raila Odinga, and this was said one day when Atoli made a certain press conference. He said that Raila Odinga thrives well in chaotic scenes, and that will give him momentum. Let's face the facts here. Should this confrontation between the police and the citizens start, What do you think is likely to happen? My perspective or my idea to this is that Ruto might want to divide the opposition and rule. Divide it by saying that Kalonzo kuja huku, Martha Karua kuja huku. So mwache Raila Amolo Odinga peke yake. Kioni kuja huku, huyu kuja huku. Mwache Raila Odinga peke yake, abaki peke yake. That will not work. I don't see a scenario where Kalonzo Musyoka or Martha Karua will want to betray Raila Amolo Odinga at this particular juncture, when the opposition has already gained momentum at this particular level, because Kalonzo still has ambitions, Martha Karua also has ambitions. So this is not going to work. Divide and rule here is not an option. But then there is another option, and this is something that Gachagua has always downplayed. So William Ruto can also decide to find peace with Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta, and so that in a bid to want to strike a deal in terms of peace, that can also work, because it can be a protect me, I protect you. But that is not going to work, because Uhuru made it clear that yeye anamtambua Raila Amolo Odinga kama rais wake. Recently he said that whatever Raila Amolo Odinga says is what he's going to do. So that option will not work. I do not see a scenario where Uhuru Kenyatta will now revert to working with William Ruto and betray Raila Amolo Odinga, when he knows very well that Raila Amolo Odinga is still his preferred leader. So that option will also not work. So I personally think that this maandamano or this mass action call is now inevitable, and it's going to work. It is going to work in favor of Raila Odinga. It is going to work because we've seen that the Kenya Kwanza government has panicked. We saw the barricades. We saw police everywhere. Trying to create blockades on the roads. We've seen this, and these are purely a reaction from the government that we know what you're doing is serious, but we also protecting ourselves. So the government is trying to tell the people that they're in fear right now, that they fear for the likely outcome should Raila mass action go to State House in Kisumu. So that's why you saw that erection of a barricade. Should it proceed to Nairobi State House? Again, that's another challenge. So these challenges are there, but the government will not win in this fight. I think Raila Amolo Odinga will win in this fight, but let's wait and see. It's just a matter of time. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, kindly share with us below the comment section. Do you think those options are going to work for William Ruto? I don't think they're going to work for William Ruto, because if he tries to do any of those options I've listed, it will still backfire on him. So ladies and gentlemen, stay safe, stay blessed until we catch up again in our next analysis.